All right, hi, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, where we're catalysts in each other's lives as well as our own, and we work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. Today I've been setting up, I'm doing some online work, but I've also been setting up, setting up canvases. I have three 24 by 48 inch canvases, and at least a couple of them I want to use for full figure paintings of Frida Kahlo, as I talked about in the last video. So I've been getting them ready by applying black gesso. Ow, get this wrap off. By applying black gesso and then wiping some of it out using paper towels and water to wash out some of the black and get a nice gray tone to it. Oops. Let's get this up here. Again, I've talked about this 5,000 times, but I can't think on a straight white canvas. Some people add a color, a base color. I need this, or it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just too boring. So I start off just with a bunch of swipes, and I know a lot of people think I should just do the swipes and that's it, and blah blah blah. You should be Franz Kleining it. I don't want to Franz Klein it. I want to paint the way I paint. So we are using this as the base. And I'll show you what I mean about taking out some of the gesso in just a sec. Yeah, we've already had Franz Klein. We don't need another one. There are like 5,000 Franz Klein impersonators. We don't need another one. 5,000. That's being generous. 5 million. We don't need another one in the world. So as you can see, I go up and down the sides, and that's because the edges of the canvas are going to get dirty, they're going to get bumped, and so I go up and down the edge to begin with, and then once I'm almost done with the painting, if not done with the painting, then I'll add black. Almost in the same technique where it's swiped like this, and then I'll go over it with aerosols. And add just a little bit more black. Now this is my second video today, and I actually wanted to make it for a couple of reasons. Since I got sick, I've been taking supplements. And it's not something I normally think about or care about, because number one on the list is buying painting supplies. Number two is food. So good luck getting supplements. We just do the best we can. But I've been getting these supplements, B6, complex multivitamin, iron, because I'm iron deficient, etc., etc. And I've noticed that I'm not as depressed as I was. I mean, I'm pretty open about being sad and disappointed and down. But I have noticed that I don't feel that way anymore. And that's something I forgot about taking supplements, especially B12, is that it can lift you. Also, having enough iron in your blood is very helpful, by the way. So if you're feeling down, think about taking supplements. Talk to your doctor, blah blah blah. But think supplements, because they might help, and they're certainly cheaper than, or I can't say cheaper than antidepressants, but right now for me, they're just as effective, and they don't cost doctor's visits in order for me to get them. So as you can see, I'm taking away some of the gesso and I'm getting a grayscale to work with. It just adds another layer to my painting. Makes things more confusing, which I like being confused. Now the other thing I'd like to suggest too is, I was listening to a lot of serial killer and serious podcasts for the past few years. But I've been really making a shift and a focus on podcasts and books that make me laugh. Usually I veer towards books where I can just get lost, or a podcast where I can just get lost and it's story after story. But I did notice that most of the stuff I was listening to was tragedy. You know, dead people and tragic murder mysteries. But I've moved over to podcasts that make me laugh. And one of my favorites, and it has been since they came on the air, is Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. It is just so much fun. Conan and his crew, Sonia Mosesian, etc., are really funny and uplifting. But there was a live show that went online today, or sometime, where Conan O'Brien was live on stage in Brooklyn, I believe, with the comedian Tracy Morgan. And I've never been a super Tracy Morgan fan, and I kind of haven't gotten his comedy since he was in the car accident that almost killed him. You know, he had a head injury, he had to learn how to walk. It was really a terrible time. And he's been so off the rails since then that I haven't really enjoyed him. But today, listening to Conan interact with him and kind of accept his humor as it is, it helped me to understand it better. And I really found myself laughing. And especially Conan lost it at one point and was just like, I don't know what's going on. And that's really when it sunk into me that Tracy's humor is pretty absurd. And I went, you like absurdity. Why haven't you enjoyed him before? So if you get a chance, I would strongly recommend finding Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend and listening to not only the Tracy Morgan live show, but also there was a live show, and it's in the library listing, in the episode listings. He did a live show with Will Arnett that was so funny. It was the first show Conan had done since they were allowed, since restrictions on COVID procedures were lifted a bit. And it was off the wall hysterical because Conan was so excited to be in front of an audience again. And then Will Arnett is just out of his mind. So really, really good show. So Tracy Morgan, Will Arnett, and then Bill Hader, Hader. That's another live show that Conan did. So funny. So if you're in need of being lifted, those are my suggestions this week. Take your supplements and listen to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And Conan just actually went on Sirius Radio. And so they've got tons of content available on Sirius. I don't have Sirius, so I listen to him through Earwolf or on my iPad through whatever that is, Apple blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, what got me thinking about making this video and mentioning these things were, I have had this feeling lately that things are about to change. Usually I just hope things will change and know better, but I hope things will change. And then all of a sudden I turn into Tommy Boy making a sale, and I'm strangling the opportunity, or the opportunity is strangling me. But lately I've had this very sincere, deep feeling that things are about to change, and change for the better. I've had a number of people say that to me. In fact, I had one fellow I've known for a while grab me in a parking lot, and he said, "Your life is about to change. I know it. It's almost here. It's about to change." And I was like, okay. But I don't know. I've been feeling it more and more and more. So I'm hoping I can get myself healthy enough, both emotionally and physically, where when that time comes, I can actually enjoy it. So as you can see, I'm just wiping this down. I'm using paper towels, and they do leave a little bit of residue behind. So I end up kind of taking away the black, and then waiting a little while, taking away the black, adding a little bit of gray like I did in this square, waiting a little while, and then wiping it down so I can get the little dust bunnies left behind by the paper towel off before I start applying aerosol, and then it gets stuck in there. All right, I think that's it. Take your vitamins, listen to Conan O'Brien, and better things are on the way. Let's end on that happy note. All right, I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst & Company. Catalyst & Company, where we try and be where we work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. We're catalysts in each other's lives. You know the deal. And if you would like to help support Catalyst & Company, all the links are down below, including the one to TeePublic, where they're having a sale to midnight tonight. So it's just like 5 hours left on a 40% off, I think, up to 40% off on everything site-wide, including my page. The link is down below on TeePublic. Patreon, where you can supply monthly support. And now I'm making videos that are specific to the Patreon, to my patron community, which is very tiny. So they're very private and secret little egg things, Easter egg finding things. Also, link below to Cash App and PayPal if you'd like to tip me, or if you'd like to get a hold of one of my galleries for pricing and info. You can contact Jay at Blue Egg Gallery, Mark and Andrew at Chasing Galleries, or Raphael Coelho at Artfront Galleries, and everything's down below. All right, you guys, ready? Ready, Carrie? Ready, Carrie? Meow, 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 meow. Take your vitamins. Take your vitamins. Boink.